A lot of people are not, though, learning how to really treasure up the knowledge and truth that they have. Welcome back. It's Sunday, and so I have a really short video here for you. I basically just wanted to share with you a really great quote that I read and some thoughts that I had after reading this quote. This is a quote by Charles Spurgeon, who I've mentioned in a past video is one of the people who has really deeply influenced my faith and continues to shape my faith. But he says this: revealed truth is as precious as diamonds and should be kept or treasured up in the memory and in the heart as jewels in a casket. This, however, is not enough, for it is meant for practical use, and therefore it must be kept or followed as men keep to a path or to a line of business. When I read this quote, it made me think of why I have grown to love note-taking so much over the last 3 to 5 years. It's not something I've always been really good at. In fact, I would say I was not good at taking notes. Like in school, for example, I was not good at it. I didn't see a vision for it. I didn't understand why I would do it. But over the last few years, I've really grown to love note-taking. I've already made a video about how it has greatly impacted my creative output. Taking notes is really just about capturing the ideas that you have, the valuable things that you come across, whether that's in your reading or things that you watch on YouTube, whatever, things that you think about on a walk. Inspiration comes from everywhere, and good note-taking for me is just about collecting and storing the things that I think about, the things that I encounter, the things that I find inspiring, and building upon them. And so you can go check out that video. I talked a little bit more about it. When I read that quote, I just thought, yes, this is why I love note-taking, because revealed truth is as precious as diamonds. In an internet age where you can acquire knowledge so easily by just a few clicks of the button, we can begin to think that knowledge and truth are cheap. They're actually very valuable. And even though we are encountering so much, we're taking in so much stuff all the time because of the day and age we live in, a lot of people are not, though, learning how to really treasure up the knowledge and truth that they have. So I was just thinking about all this, and I came up with 4 reasons why taking really good notes means so much to me. And the first is just what I've been mentioning and what Spurgeon mentions here. Taking good notes is a way for me to actively treasure up the knowledge that I have. Note-taking, though it takes time, helps me to realize that the knowledge I have, the truth I have, the inspirations I have are very valuable and they're worth time. It's worth taking the time to treasure it. And whenever I put time into these things, I actually treasure it more. I treasure the knowledge I have more because I'm spending time really making sure I'm holding on to these things that are really valuable. The second reason note-taking is really important to me is because it helps me recall the things that I already know. Our brains can only carry so much, and we have kind of limited access to the things in our brain. We might know something, but being able to recall it is a whole nother thing. I really like how these note-taking systems that have been developed over time are called second brains, because that's what it is for me. Taking really good notes is a way for me to have an external brain that I can look at, that I can pull up things and remind myself of things that are valuable to me. I can remind myself of knowledge. I can easily access things that I know that I forgot that I know, if that makes any sense. The third reason that note-taking is really valuable to me is that it helps me meditate on the things I know. Again, we can treat knowledge and truth and beauty as if they're cheap. And one of the ways we treat these things as cheap is by not spending time really reflecting on them, really meditating on them. Meditating on things is not something that we modern people seem to value, but meditating is really valuable. And for me, meditating is just taking time to really sit and ponder something. When I take good notes, part of the process for me is taking time to really think about my thoughts. It's taking time to really process the knowledge that I have, to really process the truth. Taking good notes is a way for me to externalize my own thoughts. And as I'm doing these things, it's really helping me meditate on the knowledge, the truth, and the beauty that I've encountered. Meditating is really just about lingering over something. It's about taking time with something. And that's exactly what taking good notes causes me to do. It causes me to linger over something that I wouldn't normally spend that much time on if I weren't taking notes on it. And so this is just another reason why I find note taking really valuable. It kind of just forces me to linger over the things I know and then to really suck the good marrow out of these treasures of knowledge, truth, and beauty. And then the fourth and final reason why note taking is so valuable to me is that it helps me build upon and make connections across different things that I know. Again, our brains are designed to do this, but it's a little bit unreliable, I guess, or it's harder to make this happen on demand. Our brains are really good at connecting two seemingly unsimilar things and finding common ground or synthesizing it together to form something new. And that's really what creativity is. And our brains are creative. Our brains help us to be creative by taking two things and synthesizing it together until it becomes something new. What's really cool to me about note taking is that it helps me, again, observe the things I know outside of my brain and to find those connections in a very visual way. It feels like I have these Lego blocks of knowledge and truth and beauty sitting in front of me, and I can literally put the pieces together and build new things. And I really love that. I really love how good note-taking allows me to connect things and build things that I wouldn't have been able to build if I didn't have it just sitting there in front of me, and if I wasn't able to just access it in a really clear and a visual way. Okay, that's enough of me nerding out over note-taking. I really truly find it valuable, and I think it could be really valuable to you as a fellow creative if you could learn to get really good at note-taking. And you might be asking me, well, how can I get good at it? I have shared some resources in this video that I will share at the end of the video. If you stay to the end, you can see the video I talked about note-taking and how it's 3x'd my creative output. There's some great resources in there, but I also will be making future videos on how I have learned to take good notes. I'm no expert in it at all, but I'm happy to share some thoughts on how to do it better, how to really get into capturing your knowledge, the truth you find, and the beautiful things that you have found in a way that is helpful and in a way that helps you be more productive in your creative work. Okay, I hope you're having a restful, beautiful Sunday. That's all I have for you for today's video, but I'll be back tomorrow and I hope to see you there. Bye, friends.